So if you're new to training, what would I recommend that you do when you first go to the gym? Well, normally I'd invite you to go and find an instructor and get them to set you up a training regime. But if you're someone who's a bit shy and doesn't particularly like that, and you have a membership to a gym, then I would suggest a good 5 to 10 minute warm up on a piece of cardiovascular equipment, so either a running machine or a cross trainer, sometimes called an elliptical, or on a bike, some sort of stationary bike, whether it's a recumbent bike where you sit back a little bit more. These are really good if you have a bit of extra weight on. They allow you to lay back a little bit in the way that you're seated rather than sitting on a stationary bike that looks like a road bike. Just by laying back, certainly if you've got a bit more excess fat on the front, it allows you to move that out the way so you can move your legs a little bit further and faster, maybe. So about 10 minutes just to get the heart rate up and the joints moving. Personally, if I was going to do a warm-up, I'd probably use the elliptical or the cross trainer, because it has arms that you hold on to as well, and that gets every single joint going. Then I'd move on to a different piece of equipment, but still staying with the cardiovascular side. And I would probably do 20 to 30 minutes of good cardio work, thinking about somewhere of a 7 on the RPE scale. That's a rate of perceived exertion. So that's somewhere that you feel like you're working quite hard, but you can probably still hold a conversation. So for me, that would be something like the running track, maybe a spin bike, or something else, depending on what you use to start off with. So I like to mix it all up and each time maybe do something different. Then I'd start to look at using some of the strength and conditioning training equipment, so the weight equipment. I'd be looking at something that works equal sides of my body, so something to do with the legs, either some sort of squat machine, or there's one where you lie on your back and you press your legs out. That would work really well. A couple of ones that are seated that would lengthen the legs, so you'd be straightening your knee and bending your knee, and the same in the other direction. I'd also be looking for some sort of pushing action to work the upper body in the chest, and some sort of pulling action to work the back of the body. If you work in an office job, the pulling action is the really important one. That's the one where we start to get hunched forward, leaning down, working on computers. So we want something that's going to start to lift us back up and open again. I'd also want some sort of bicep action, because we always want the big daddy muscles to work, and something for the triceps, which is an extension action. So where we get the weight and pull it this way, and we want something that pulls the weight this way. So we're working in opposition chest and back, opposition pull and the other side. And then the same on the legs. So some sort of pushing action or lunging, and then some work for the core, and then some other work that stretches us out. And that would give us an all-round workout. So there's a bit of a warm-up. There's some cardio training to burn fat. There's some strength training, which will then, by working the muscles and adding in the strength, we'll make sure that next time we're training, we're burning more calories as we're doing our cardio work, but it's also putting strain on the bones, which means that we'll increase our muscle density and our bone density. We then have a little bit of work on the abs and on the core, so whether that's sit-ups or planks. Planks are awesome. Planks have been shown to be twice as effective as sit-ups in burning calories, certainly. And you'll know doing a plank that every 10 seconds seems to be like an hour. So, and then a stretch at the end. So whichever muscles you've used, we're looking at stretching. So about 15 seconds to 30 seconds will give us 15 seconds is seen as a maintenance stretch, whereas 30 seconds plus is seen as a developmental stretch.